one. Bend your knees all the way forward. Door, face the kitchen I should say, sorry. And now you're going to do the same thing. Bend your knees all the way forward. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And back up. Alright, go for the knees over toes again for me, please. Good. And then come on back. She's okay. And then turn and face me for me, please. And then knees over toes again. Good. And back forward. Alright, Sandy, leaving your house right now. I didn't put a mic on, so sorry about the audio. Hopefully you can hear me okay. And it doesn't sound like road too much. It's really great to see you. Really good, really happy with your foot positioning. Good prognosis for you. Like I said, I really think it'll take 4 weeks, but the majority of the time, plantar fasciitis takes around 6 to 8 weeks for walking to be pretty comfortable. For like longer durations, the more impact we take, the more resilient our feet have to be, which means the stronger they have to be. Which is like dancing or jumping or longer hiking, stuff like that. We have to have stronger feet. Strength takes a little bit longer than getting rid of pain, but they go hand in hand. The stronger we get, the more we can do, the less pain we have. Pain is a response to excess stress, so we need to figure out why is there so much stress on the plantar fascia, which we did. So your heel is what we call goes in the valgus, so your heel dips outwards as your ankle goes inwards and your toes go outwards. That puts a lot of stress on the inside muscles of your foot. The posterior tibialis is one of those, as well as flexor digitorum longus and flexor hallucis longus. Those are on the inside of your heel where I was massaging between your ankle nub, your ankle bone, and your heel bone. That's what we call the tibial tunnel, like carpal tunnel. There's also a nerve in that area. The more that heel kicks outwards and the foot rolls inwards and those toes splay to the right, the more stress we have on the inside of the arch, the more stress we have on those muscles. When those muscles get stressed, muscles can take more stress than ligaments typically because they're more elastic, so they can take more stress. My heater is on way too high. So plantar fascia is the supporting net. It's like a safety net for all those muscles on the bottom of your foot. If those muscles aren't working and we get a lot of pressure on that plantar fascia, it's like putting a bowling ball in a trampoline. The trampoline can hold it, but eventually that bowling ball will just keep sinking downwards. That's like your plantar fascia. So there's two ways to keep that bowling ball stable. We tighten this. There's one way. We tighten the springs of that trampoline so it's has more support, and then you can reinforce the Kevlar, etc., right? But you can't do that on muscles. So that means we just have to get the muscles on the bottom of your foot stronger, as well as improve your heel positioning when you go through walking. I'll probably record a quick video talking you through your gait, just so you can see how heel position affects your gait and thereby affects your arch. More specifically, why doing those toe curls with your heel behind you a bit more is much harder and those muscles fatigue a lot more. The simple answer is that you're stretching your calf and those muscles are in your calf, and muscles have to work harder under stress, under stretching, so under load, which is super important because when your heel is underneath you and walking and progresses behind you, those muscles get stretched, which means they have to be stronger, and those muscles really have to work from foot slightly in front of you to foot slightly behind you. They really have to support all your body weight on a single leg. But good things. Balance is really good. Your range of motion is actually pretty great. It's just those muscles aren't working super well, so they specifically are stiff when you use them. I'll explain a little bit better. Your passive range of motion that I am doing that you are not doing, is pretty great. Your active range of motion is not as great, so your ability to use your range of motion is not as good. So that's evident when we have you do like the squats or the knees over your toes. You saw how those, specifically that right foot, kicks outwards and falls in. So that's the plane for you for now. Part 2 will be controlling this twisty plane of your foot. So right now we're working on the forward-backwards plane. That's easier to work with. The twisty plane's takes a little bit more brain training. So that's the short foot that we kind of covered. And then part 3 is connecting your hip and your foot together. No, it's not a coincidence that it's the same side as your knee pain, which makes almost too much sense that your right hip would be problematic as well. The relationship between your hip flexors and your glutes. But these are all just guesses based on experience and research. We will look at that together as your foot starts to feel better so that you can start doing more. So again, we can get your foot stronger, but if we get your hip even stronger, you can hike for as long as you want. You can walk for as long as you want, because your hip is like a V8 engine and your foot's like a 4-cylinder engine. It can just take more load, take more power, produce more power. Those are all things that we'll cover. So for now, you have the toe elevated foot stretch, specifically thinking knee outside of toes and trying to keep your big toe down with a bent knee, progressing your knee over your toes. We have toe curls in front of you as well as kind of underneath you, so that we get the bottom of the foot stronger. Add some weight as much as you want. Stretch as much as you want, like 10 seconds or so at a time, as many times throughout the day as possible. 50 is an arbitrary number. That's just trying to say do a lot. Toe curls, if you can do 3 to 4 sets of 15 reps, just do both feet if you're okay with that. And then heel raises, let's do the 3 sets of 15 reps as well. If you have any questions on any of that, let me know. It's really great to see you. Like I said, you're a great student, which makes you a great patient, which gives you great prognosis. We'll see you next week.